Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. My dear students of Honors Part 3, how you folks are doing? I hope you are in a hale and hearty mood and you are also inclined to learning things. And in my today's lecture, I will first recite the poem, The Sun Rising, and later I will give a summary of the poem and also discuss the poem critically. And first, I will go through the poem and and for you students, reciting poem is very important, and I will tell you to recite poems whenever you can to rectify your pronunciation and to also speed up your reading. The sun rising, busy old fool, unruly sun, why dost thou thus? Through windows and through curtain call on us. Must to thy motion lovers seasons run. Saucy pedantic wretch, go chide late schoolboys and sour prentices. Go tell court huntsmen that the king will ride. Call country ends to harvest offices. Love all alike, no season knows, nor climb, nor hours, days, months, which are the wrecks of time. Thy hymns, so reverent and strong, why shouldest thou think I could eclipse and cloud them with wing? But that I would not lose her sight so long. If her eyes have not blinded thine, look, and tomorrow late tell me whether both the Indies of a spice and mine be where thou leftest them, or lie here with me. Ask for those kings whom thou sawest yesterday, and thou shalt hear, all here in one bed lay. She is all estates and all princess I, nothing else is. Princes do but play us, compared to these. All honored mimic, all wealth alchemy. Thou, son, art half as happy as we, in that the world's contracted thus. Thine age asks is, and since thy duties be to warm the world, thou's that's done in warming us. Shine here to us, and thou art everywhere. This bed thy center is, these walls thy sphere. Now, my dear students, let me tell you the summary of this poem. The sun is an old, undisciplined fool, prying on the lovers as if they heeded him. Other people, such as boys late for school or unwilling apprentices going to work, might need the sun. Indeed, those who choose to ride early, hunting with the king in order to harvest favors, and ants in the countryside harvest food, might need to be called, but love is unchanging and unaware of time. The sun should not disturb the lover and the beloved, and the sun should look at others, and the sun should make others people aware of their duties. Why should the sun feel that he is so respected and successful? His rays could be shut out by a blink of the eyes if the lover could bear to shut out also the sight of his beloved. If the sun has not himself been blinded by her eyes, he should report whether all the wealth of the West Indies and the spices of the East Indies are in their usual places, or whether, like majesty itself, they lie in bed with the poet. And the sun, the sun should done things that he represents all the kings of the world, and his sweetheart represents all the states of the world. Thus, to see them, the sun should not look anywhere else. He should simply cast a glance at the bed in which he and his beloved are lying. She is all kingdom and he is the ruler. Nothing else is reality. Princes only act the part of the lovers. Honor is but pretense and wealth glittering emptiness in comparison with the union of the lovers. The contraction of the real world into the world of the lovers makes the sun at least half as happy as they are. For he is old and will find it easier to warm so sunken a space. If he shines on them, he indeed shines everywhere. For their room is the universe. If the sun shines on Donne and on his sweetheart, the sun indeed shines everywhere, for their room is the universe. And let me, my dear students, tell you the commentary of this poem. The Sunne Rising is a poem of joyous, fulfilled love. The poet can hardly contain his sense of a pleasure so great that he can challenge the sun and the universe itself. He and his beloved cannot be subject to the mere laws of nature. Nevertheless, the poem contains a paradox often found in Donne's love poetry. Nothing exists apart from the experience of love, and yet the poet has a lively and humorous sense of the outside world and a criticizing approach to those whose interest is not love but ambition. Court huntsmen are courtiers who hunt with the king, like hosts of ants off to the harvest fields. The compression of imagery and the double meaning are typical of Donne. Outstandingly, this is a poem of conversation and wild, joyful hyperbole. The poem's explosive beginning, that is, busy old fool, unruly sun, sets the conventional tone. The sun is vigorously attacked as both a fool and a kind of peeping Tom, peering not only through the windows but even through the curtains, in spite of the poet's assertion that the lovers alone are reality. He is well aware of the world of late schoolboys and sour-faced apprentices. The sun is like a cross-master, interfering and pedantic. Both words and rhythm are close to those of ordinary speech. The energy and attack of the start develop into a longer line of repeated accusations of prying or peeping through the window of the lover. We can hear the cynical amusement in the comparison between the flatterers round the king and ants hurrying off in search of their own harvest, and also the triumphant ring of the last two lines with their assertion of the supremacy of love over time. The idea that time controls all human activity is both familiar and frightening to the metaphysical poets. Here, Donne turns it upside down. The atmosphere of living conversation is also apparent in the carefully emphasized tomorrow late. The sun has arrived too early for the lovers on this occasion and should behave better in the future. Many of Donne's favorite techniques can be seen in the Sunne Rising, from the dramatic beginning to the liking for lists. That is, lists here refers to hours, days, months, from a variety of imagery, that is, time divided into mere scraps, the awareness of distant riches newly discovered, and also astronomy, to the use of pun on line number 20 in the word here and here. And my dear students, let me tell you the definition of pun. Pun or pano, paronomasia. Pun or paronomasia is a play upon words which are similar in sound but different in meaning. It occurs when a single word conveys two meanings. And we can give an example. My dear students, you know the name of the famous novel Farewell to Arms by Ernest Hemingway. And in this title, arms has been used to mean weapons or war, and the arms of the beloved or love. That is, arms implies two meaning. One is war, the other is love. And this is an example of pan or paronomasia. And my dear students, at the end of the poem, Donne describes the lover's bed as the center of the universe and the walls of the room as the circle of the sun's movement. He is using the old Ptolemaic system of astronomy in which the sun and planets make concentric circles around the earth. Almost certainly he did not believe this, but it would be sufficiently familiar to his readers to make a successful image. And now, my dear students, I would like to conclude my lecture by saying that the poem is remarkable for its boldness of thought and originality of execution. The way in which the sun is made to appear as an unwelcome guest, and the way in which he is finally allowed to stay in the bedroom of the lovers are the most striking examples of Donne's poetic inventiveness and ingenuity. The poet, after establishing the supremacy of love, permits the sun to stay in the bedroom. In this poem, the lover rebukes Sunne Rising because it disturbs the lovers. Love is above the sense of time. It knows no hours, days or months. The sun should not call on lovers. It should call on school apprentices, courtiers and country ants. Love knows no season nor clime. The whole world has contracted into the lover's bedroom. Thus the sun need not go round the earth. It should only pay a visit to the lover's bedroom, and it would meet the whole world there in the lover's bedroom. And my dear students, this is a wonderful love poem, and I will request you to read this love poem passionately, and if possible, you can also memorize this poem. And thank you very much for listening.